We are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so very much for tuning in at this time. Greatly appreciate it. Anybody that's watching us on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. What a terrible game. Outside of D'Lo, LeBron, and Cam Reddish, this is one of those games that you gotta just chalk up. I mean, this was bad. AD was basically non-existent. Austin Reeves was unplayable. Lakers had the fake comeback, right? The fake charge. Looked like things were coming to put it nicely, a very poor played game. But it's you win some, you lose some. You're not going to win every game at home. But this was a bad game. We looked so well in that first game yesterday, and then just immediately fell back right into bad habits. Immediately, right into our bad habits. No energy, not sharing the basketball, poor shot selection, not being aggressive, just allowing too many easy buckets, not getting and putting a hand up on defense. Like it's just weird, right? It's like this team played perfect basketball last game and then come out this game and just did the opposite. And it's not like gas, we were tired type thing or anything. No, like we didn't do what we simply needed to do just to get back. We decided to do it in the fourth quarter. And look, if that was a reasonable game, we win this game. If we weren't down 26, right, we probably win this game. But when you don't do what you're supposed to do over the course of the entire game, and then now you want to lock down and do what you're supposed to do when it's too late, I don't know. I appreciate the effort by the Lakers. I love that they didn't just lay down. They could have just laid down. Personally, I would have set LeBron James and Anthony Davis in that fourth. I wouldn't have played them if they came back, right? Like let's say we set LeBron and AD and we got it to like how we got it to 10, then maybe I would have put LeBron and AD back in the game, and see if maybe you can make that push. But, and I get like if we didn't put LeBron and AD in the game, then we probably wouldn't have came back like we did. But then so what? We don't come back the way we did. LeBron and AD gets rest. You saw how gassed LeBron looked at the end of that game. I would have rather just let them get the rest, write this game off as a bad game, and that's what it is. But just bad effort on all sides, lazy basketball. LeBron was great in this game, but early on, I mean, he had 3 turnovers in like a minute span, and it was just lazy passing. Austin Reeves, again, lazy passing. It's just you're not winning games when you have 20 turnovers, right? And you're not playing defense. You're not rebounding. You're not doing the energy. You're not doing Anthony Davis is non-existent. And Anthony Davis has been great all year. He had the first half in the Denver series, or the second half in the Denver series. But then outside of that, he's been great. And then this game, he just completely becomes a no-show and just gets absolutely abused by Sabonis. Abused. Together, consistent basketball for multiple games. Again, we had a moment-to-moment win, or start to finish win, and then we come out with this. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, dive into some of the players here, which not really much to talk about. But we'll cover some good and bad before we jump into the chat here and answer all your super chat questions and all your regular questions and stuff like that. So from the Lakers side, again, Cam Reddish continues to just be fantastic. I think Cam Reddish, when Vando comes back, I think Cam Reddish has earned the starting spot. I think you need to keep him. So personally, I would go D'Lo, Reddish, Vanderbilt, LeBron, and AD. That would be my starting 5. Cam Reddish he's been fantastic. He really has. He's shooting the ball well. Again, 40% from 3 today. Hit huge threes down the stretch for us. 50% from the field, period. Was being aggressive, attacking the rim, all the things that you love to see. gave you 2 rebounds, but he gave you 5 steals. So he gave you 16 points, 5 steals. Yeah, just a great game. LeBron James, 28 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds, gave you a triple-double, 4 steals, but 6 turnovers. Got to take care of the basketball. Him and Austin Reeves did a terrible job taking care of the basketball. Austin Reeves gave you 5 turnovers. You had more than half of your turnovers between 2 guys, and Austin Reeves and LeBron James. Can't happen. Can't have that happen. LeBron continues to shoot the 3 ball pretty well, 42%. Anthony Davis, 3 of 9 from the field, 9 rebounds, 1 assist. He did have 4 blocks, which is great. 4 turnovers. Again, you're not winning when your 2 stars who are supposed to have the ball a majority of the time are committing 10 turnovers. Just not. Taurean Prince, another rough shooting night. He had a couple nice plays, but for the most part has just not been able to get the shooting going consistently, at least. 7 points. D'Angelo Russell was one of the other guys. Like I said, Reddish, D'Lo, and LeBron, those 3 showed up. D'Angelo Russell has been great this year. He had, a couple early stretches where he was a little rough, but he, over the last 5 games or so, has been really good and has been very consistent for us. 28 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. He had 2 turnovers. Those came kind of towards late, and one of those turnovers shouldn't have been a turnover. It should have been a foul. But regardless, 28 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And then Reeves, just poor game. He gave you 9 points, 0 of 5 from 3. And it's not even that he shot poorly. It was the shot selection for Reeves. I mean, he's just taking such poor shots, forcing stuff, forcing the issue. Just play the game, man. Take the shots. Let the shots come to you. Quit trying to force stuff up. Quit trying to do too much. He's over there heavily over dribbling, making careless passes. Come on, man. You finally started to look like you were turning it around, and then you come and give this dud. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Gotta stop letting him or he has to stop being so careless with the basketball. It's ridiculous. But gotta start picking it up. We need more games like the Grizzlies game than this game that we had here. I understand it was the Grizzlies, but it wasn't even that we played a bad team. It was the way we played. Again, sharing the basketball, right? Hustling. The energy was there, working hard, fighting for offensive rebounds. I didn't expect this team to shoot the lights out. I mean, I even made a video about, are they going to shoot poorly? But this was a game that if you just did what you were supposed to do, you could have been in the game. This could have been a very winnable game. And instead, you dropped the ball. But anyway, let's get into all of your questions, super chat questions, all that stuff. Real quick, before we dive into it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. And we'll bounce back for the next game. Let's have the next stream be a happy stream because the Lakers won. But what's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you being here. Reeves is a turnover prone. I trust D'Lo than Reeves to handle the basketball. I agree. He's taking care of the basketball. One guy is and one guy isn't. Kings is hard to defend. They shot 443s. Yeah, I mean, and they made 390 of them. Question for a friend. What's up, Jason? Did the Celtics win tonight? Lakers played up a fire team. We'll bounce back. Love the channel. Please, everyone, hit that like button and subscribe. Means a lot to the channel. It does. You have no idea how much and how far your little like button, little quick like button, subscribe button goes. But yes, the Celtics did win. And Celtics look tough, man. They look really good. Had way too many turnovers and AD played terrible. Yep. That was the standard tonight. I said they were going to get beat, and of course, AD and AR didn't show up. LeBron and D'Lo and Cam went out there and hooped. Yeah, those 3 definitely showed up. About trading for Schroeder, we're not going to be able to trade for Schroeder. This is one for real. This one for real hurts. Yeah, I feel that. We don't need Kyrie. We could absolutely use Kyrie. Another week, another AD masterclass. AD is fellas. Yep. Too many turnovers at crucial times. Yep. Do we still trust our depth or look for a third star? Well, I mean, if you can get a third star, I mean, I talked about it even in the offseason. If you can get a third star that makes sense, like a D'Lo or not D'Lo, DeMar or a DeMar or like a Kyrie, something like that, you should. If you have the opportunity to get better, you always get better, right? Like I stand by that. If you can get better, you get better. But you don't just make a trade for a third star just to make a trade for a third star, because you can also do more damage than good, right? Say we were in panic mode and we went and traded for James Harden. Look at what is going on with the Clippers. But if you find the right star, you find the right trade. If you can get DeMar DeRozan for a reasonable price, I mean, at this point, I would rather trade AR than D'Lo. Right? I mean, all the talk is like, oh, D'Lo and Rui for Caruso, DeMar, and Andre Drummond. I mean, the way AR has been playing all year, and look, I like AR. I do believe AR can turn it around. But D'Lo's the only one, I mean, even more so than LeBron at times, is the only one that's taking care of the basketball and dishing out assists and has been very consistent. I mean, at this point, I don't know if you can trade D'Lo, right? You're almost better off trading Reeves and putting a package together to try to go get that. And that might be more enticing for a team like Chicago. And just go with like D'Lo, DeMar, Vando, LeBron, and AD as your starting five. Especially if you can get especially if you can get an Alex Caruso. If you get Alex Caruso to come off the bench, then you got Caruso, you'd still have Reddish. You'd be in a pretty good spot. But no, I wouldn't. It's not panic mode yet, but you definitely gotta do something, right? And Malik Beasley shines for the Bucks. Why does this happen? He's been terrible all year. He had a good game. Like if you watched him all year, he's not been very good. He's been how he was for us. DeMar DeRozan and Caruso trade for Gabe and Russell. I don't know why they would want Gabe Vincent. Like I said, you're going to end up having to give up Rui if you want Caruso and DeMar. It's just you're going to have to. It's going to be something, like I said, it's going to be like a D'Lo Rui for like Caruso, Drummond, and DeMar. You throw in like a Jalen Hood-Schifino first-round pick, and then there you go. AD and AR show up, we win. Yep, that's simple. I agree with you. How many times did the Kings beat the Lakers? A lot. Russell did play very well. I really hate when Lakers lose, man. I can't sleep when the Lakers lose. I feel like a lazy man. I feel it. It's very frustrating. LeBron was gassed at the end. AD barely sweating. Yep. Just inexcusable game. Always disappearing. He's been good all year outside of this game. But this was a bad game. Very bad game. So what's the word today, guys? Trading Reeves and AD for DeMar? No, that definitely ain't happening. Get rid of Reeves. Clown ruined the game. Every time turnover. Again, you don't just trade Reeves, just trade Reeves. But if you like, D'Lo's been very valuable so far. This is why AD will always get scrutinized games. Unacceptable 10 points and a must for a star every single game. Yeah. He's got to show up. Yes. Thank you so much, Jason. Hit that like button if you want Lakers to win the next game. Let's go. Yes. Take a second. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Honestly, we need to trade AD. Lil Wayne was right every other game. Inconsistent. You're not trading Anthony Davis. He's still the defense player of the year. He still is a huge deterrent. His offense. That's why we just need a consistent secondary scorer. Somebody that can come in like a DeMar DeRozan, because then you're not so reliant on Anthony Davis's offense. Then he can kind of focus more on defense and be a 20-point-a-game guy rather than needing him to be a 25 to 30-point-a-game guy. He played back-to-back and against a really good offense team, but played this wasn't even Lakers back-to-back. Then this was just Lakers just didn't show up. Reeves, Rui, Vincent for Zach LaVine. I made a video about it earlier. Don't hold your breath on Zach LaVine. We don't have enough to get Zach LaVine. If we can get him, then great. I don't see that happening personally. We just don't have enough compared to like a Sixers or especially the Knicks. The Knicks could easily outbid us and still have tons of assets. So again, don't hold your breath on Zach LaVine. DeMar DeRozan, that is very likely. We need a big center to play with AD. He is legitimately the soft 6'10" guy I've ever seen. Yeah, problem is like who? How do we make AD think he's always playing against Triple J? Yeah, right. Am absolutely ran both LeBron and AD into the ground today in a game they were not going to win. I agree that I talked about it earlier. I don't. Granted, did LeBron tell him to do that? No, it's like LeBron is LeBron, right? If LeBron says I'm playing the fourth, he's playing the fourth. But personally, I wouldn't have played them. Like you said, this is a game that they weren't going to win, and I just think you basically just wasted a bit of LeBron and AD. Just effort, you win. Lack of leadership. LeBron needs help from players besides Russell and Cam. Agreed. Let's blame the losses on something new each time. Let's not look at the root cause of it. Having two paint-dominant players and building zero shooters around them, how could that ever hurt? Zero shooters? Taurean Prince is a career 40% guy. D'Lo, Reeves, both career 40% guys. Like, we have plenty of shooting. Guys just aren't hitting shots. D'Lo did, but where's Taurean Prince? Why isn't Taurean Prince hitting shots? Where's he been? Right? You did get shooters. We didn't get any, like, snipers, but there's only, like, a handful of those in the league, period. Like a Kevin Hurt or a Malik Beasley, who we had and has been terrible, and he's been just as bad for the Bucks. He had a good game today, but over the course of the season, he's been terrible. And then you got Buddy Hield, and then the Warriors have theirs. Like, there's a difference between a pure natural shooter and then guys that can shoot. Most teams have guys that can shoot. Like Sacramento, outside of Herter, just have a bunch of guys that can shoot. And if you leave them wide open, they'll knock down the shot. The problem is the Lakers aren't knocking down the shots. Was gasping for at the end. Yeah, dude, running them. AD chilled out this game, EFX. Still the best player on their team at age 56. This is ridiculous. Yeah, it is. Spot on. We need a better backup big than Hayes. He's unplayable, and Wood is not even getting minutes anymore. Just need guys to play better. I mean, Hayes is fine in spots, just as like an energy guy, but we need another center. The problem is who do you get? That's why I said, like, you go get like an Andre Drummond because he's going to be available. You're not going to be able to, very likely, you're not going to be able to trade for Vu. And I don't even know if you'd want to do that, but why is he still playing Reeves 31 minutes with 5 points? I don't know. You before Laker Nation pulls viewers. Always do that, man. Been watching you for about a year now. Well, thank you, our world. I really appreciate that. I really do. But yeah, I mean, Lakers Nation, look, they're great. They've been around forever. They're kind of the gold standard. My hope is one day I can be in that spot. Whenever the Lakers lose too, it's always worse than when the Lakers win. But yeah, I appreciate it. One day, got to keep grinding. Like I said, they've been around for a long time, but I appreciate you guys. My problem with AD this game was his awful defensively. I can take nights off on offense. We're getting cooked by Sabonis. Yeah, you can't be getting cooked by Sabonis. Lakers need Miles Turner to help AD defensively. Problem is the Indiana Pacers are playing fantastic. So I don't see that happening, at least this year. Maybe next year, if Miles Turner kind of hints at maybe wanting to leave. I don't know. I don't either. I don't get it. Ham really frustrated me. Reeves stunk it up all game and kept him over Rui, who was great in the minutes. Reeves was getting exposed defensively. I don't know why he kept him in. I don't get that either. I get you trust him. I get you like him, but he's got to. If he's having that kind of game, you got to be able to pull the plug. I know you don't want to kill his confidence. You already moved him to the bench. I understand it, but you're trying to win a game here, man. Trying to win the game. Play Rui more. I feel it. Yeah, AD was really disappointing. Cut back on the turnovers. And we went agreed. Austin Reeves looked like Westbrook today, but it's all good. Open shots are still abundant. We need to hit those shots, man. I agree. We won't have perimeter defense till Gabe and Vando come back. So whatever, yeah, man, you're spot on. You on it, but gotta hit shots, man. We had so many open looks that just not hitting. I would say the excuse for only 9 points when a 38-year-old LeBron back-to-back scores 28. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Less turnovers, more effort. Just got to click and hope they improve by December. Agreed. Rui was getting garbage minutes. Super disappointing it. The Kings is not the best defensive team, so gamble a lot for steals. Pays off a lot. I honestly enjoy watching that team when it's not against us. Yeah, I mean, their whole goal is to try to outscore us or outscore teams. Like, so they gamble a lot. They do all that stuff. So Sabonis owns AD tonight. Absolutely. Yeah, he did. Lakers think they can skip through the regular season and magically turn around in the playoffs, but that's not how it works. Agreed. You got to build the good habits now. You get into the playoffs and yet you're still having these terrible habits. It's going to be bad. Prince has been off lately. He has been rough. He needs to get his shooting back around. You can't bench Prince until Vando comes back. You don't have anybody that can fill in that spot, right? Like, well, I mean, you could start Wood, but now you got to put LeBron at the 3. Like, better off just sticking with it, hoping Prince starts hitting some shots. And then when Vando comes back, take out Prince, put in Vando, and then there you go. Yeah, when Vando comes back, yeah. Whenever he comes back. AR keeps chucking these silly threes up. I honestly don't know why he shoots. Like, he's been lights out all game. You're 0-4. You're not hitting threes from the hash. It does. It drives me crazy. It does. It drives me crazy. Gotta have better shot selection, better shot selection. Vando sets the tone for them, and you saw them go on that run. Yep. Defense looks good. We definitely aren't true contenders right now. We don't look anything close to a true contender right now. Who was in Darvin Ham's ear when finding this off a rotation? I mean, it's been the same. It ran the same rotation he did last night. And everyone was talking, oh, this is a great rotation, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's great when guys are hitting shots. But when guys aren't hitting shots, this is what you get. He didn't. It's not like he changed anything. It's not like he started playing, Max Christie 40 minutes. Like, guys weren't hitting shots. He ran it the same way. When things are working, it's working. When it's not, it's not. AR wants to have that Mamba mentality. Austin Reeves gets a signature shoe and a new contract. He forgets how to play. Seriously. Reeves got a huge bag, and this is what happens. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. AD looks super subpar tonight. Yes, I agree. He did. Without a doubt. Y'all beat 2 sorry teams. Thought what are you talking about? Sabonis better than AD. I don't understand why he struggles against his. Dre made him look better in the playoffs, and AD looks trash against him. Most inconsistent star in the league. Yep, it's a big problem. Can't beat the Kings or Nuggets. Well, hopefully we don't see them in the playoffs. I do think we can beat the Nuggets. But Kings, that their style of play is very challenging for us. Very challenging. It's just the way that they play. It's tough for us. I blame Ham for carrying on playing Reeves. Yes, I agree with you. It was bench him for Rui. Kings don't have another creator off the dribble other than Fox. Agreed. Well, I mean, he got Malik Monk, but he was struggling tonight. So, Lakers better not trade Cam. They're not going to trade Cam. Cam's been fantastic, and he's on a vet minimum, so you're not even going to get any value out of him. AD D'Lo, Reeves need to be traded. Reeves turns the ball over too much, hurts the team. You're not trading AD, and you're not trading D'Lo and Reeves. You could trade one of them, but you're not trading both of them. And still, I know AD gets. I know it's frustrating when AD plays like this, but you're not trading AD. He's still too valuable, too important. That's why you need another consistent scorer. You need a DeMar DeRozan because now you don't have to rely on Anthony Davis's offense so much. He can kind of focus on just rebounding, playing defense, be the anchor that you need. That's right. Yes, I'm with you. Keegan Murray had Austin Reeves in his straitjacket. If we play Rui in those minutes, I have no doubt we could have cooked even more in that fourth. I am with you. I am picking up what you're putting down. D'Lo was fantastic. Eddie does not need to be traded. Yeah, you're not trading Anthony Davis. I get it was a bad game. I get it's frustrating when he plays like this, but you're not trading Anthony Davis. I wish Lakers can at least be an existing team, not an unwatchable one. Yeah, I feel that. It is. It's very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. LeBron is the only player with heart in the Lakers. Davis is a child that needs to be. I mean, what about Reddish and D'Lo? They were both fantastic. They've been great. But as far as your stars go, yes. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something. To me, why did AD not show up? I don't know. You're going to have to ask him. I have no idea. We would have plenty of depth if we want for a third star. We have too much depth, but we're running a 9-man rotation right now with 2 core role players out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could trade pretty much. You could trade 3 or 4 guys and get back 2, and you'd be fine. Like, you know, and again, especially if you do something like a Caruso, DeMar, and Drummond. You know, say you're giving up a JHS and like a Maxwell Lewis, right? Those are 2 guys that aren't even going to play this year, right? If anything, you can make an argument you're getting more depth, right? You trade, you know, whatever, Rui and D'Lo, or you trade, you know, Reeves and Rui or whatever, and Vincent, and you're good. D'Lo was solid. Reddish, you've earned that permanent spot in the lineup. Can't wait for Vando to get back and get Caruso back, and AC, Reddish, Vando, Braun, and AD. That defense would be so much fun to watch. That defense would be ridiculous. Offensively, I'd have my concerns, but defensively, we'd be great. AD did only have 9 points, which is terrible. Right now, I'd rather trade AR. I agree. Not even going to lie. I never even ever thought I'd say that this season. I didn't think I'd say that this season either. I mean, go back and watch the videos. I have talked so highly of Reeves. And look, I still believe he's that player in there. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. He's doing too much, right? Like last year, and maybe it's because he played so well last year, right? And so he's trying to replicate that. It's almost like he's too much in his head, right? He's too much like, I got to do this. 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 Where last year he was just playing, right? He was enjoying the moment. He was thankful to even be on the court, right? So he went from being a guy that was just there to all of a sudden trying to do too much. And if he's going to continue to do this, I mean, I don't know how you can trade him. I don't know how you can trade D'Lo over him. I think you're almost better off keeping D'Lo. All right. And you probably wouldn't have to give up as much if you trade AR. The only problem is D'Lo's salary. So you'd have to like add a little more salary, right? Because Reeves is making like what, $12.5 million this year to D'Lo's $17.5. But you can make up that $5 if you had to. Throw in Prince, right? Prince is I like Prince a lot, but I mean, if he doesn't continue to shoot well, I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. I mean, again, we'll know more once we get around the trade deadline, or early January. We'll have a better idea and understanding of where we're at, what we need. Seriously, I want D'Lo to stay. Trade Reeves. D'Lo is better facilitator and better defensively than AR. He absolutely has been, yes. And AR trying to do too much sometimes. Yep. Reeves keeps playing like this, then I have one thing to say. Bye-bye, Reeves. Yep. Beasley isn't good, bro. Are the Lakers doing 500? Yeah. I mean, at least they're still at 500, right? That's a good thing. Look on the bright side. I won big on my parlay tonight. Congrats. That's awesome. Good hit. Always love it. Today was. I am with you. We don't need a trade. The team just needs to play. Look at Harden did to the Clippers. Yeah, but that you got to understand. Like, there's a difference between just doing a silly trade that makes no sense that you don't need, and then doing a trade that does make sense, that does fix what you need. Right? The Clippers had no reason or need or nothing to go get James Harden. They just wanted it for the name because they're opening a new arena. It's not the same thing as if the Lakers go trade for DeMar DeRozan. Lakers trade for DeMar DeRozan, he'll fit in beautifully. He solves so much of what the Lakers need. It's not even comparable. It's not. You're not like the Harden thing is not even comparable. It's not even comparable to like when the Lakers traded for Russell Westbrook. Like it's two completely different things. The only thing D'Lo hasn't been consistent in is his three. It's been sporadic right now, but he looks like he's getting hot the last 3 games. Yeah, but also he's not settling too, right? Like the not last game, but like a game ago or 2 games ago, whatever it was. He was like 0-3 from 3. He missed his first 3 threes and then just stopped shooting the threes and still gave you 20 points because he just started being aggressive and getting to the basket. You know, he started off the game. That was the game where, he gave you like 17 in the first half or whatever. And like he Reeves will just keep going and trying to do too much. At least D'Lo will, like, if he doesn't have it going, he'll do other stuff. Plus, he can do other stuff. Like if his shot isn't falling, he's still hustling and getting after it on the defensive side. He's not getting completely torched. He's not great defensively, but he's serviceable enough. And then also his playmaking is massive and he takes care of the basketball. Problem with Reeves right now is when he's not shooting well and he's not, playing great basketball on the offensive side, he's giving you 0 defense. He's turning the ball over heavily. He's taking poor shots and just disrupting the flow of the offense. Like, he's not contributing in other ways, right? Like that's the difference between like a great player and just another guy, right? Like, you see the guys that can impact the game in multiple ways. And D'Lo is finding ways to impact the game even when he has off nights. Reeves isn't. It's like when he's having an off night, it like ruins everything else. JHS plus 2 seconds plus Prince for Caruso. I would love that if they would do it. Last Chicago wanted like 2 firsts for Caruso or like a quality role player and a first. So that's why I think the only way you're going to trade Caruso is probably like a package too. You're going to have to get it in like a DeMar Caruso type thing to where you kind of like mush a bunch of stuff together. Let's see. Kings have our number, yes. Vando and DeMar and AD in the same lineup. No floor spacing at all. We don't have any floor spacing right now either. Like, so what does that change? At least you have a guy that can go get buckets. And there is more to floor spacing than just shooting threes, right? Like, the whole point of floor spacing is to draw out the defense. If DeMar DeRozan is on the court and he's knocking down from the deep mid-range, that's just as effective. If teams have to double team him, then guess what? You just stretch the floor out because now you're taking guys away from the basket. Now you can't double team AD and LeBron James. Like, again, I would rather just go get a guy that can score and figure it out and be effective from the mid-range, right? Like, we're not going to be a good 3-point shooting team. We could go trade for Buddy Hield right now. It's not going to solve all of our issues. But you know what would? Having a consistent go-to 20-plus point a game scorer that, like clockwork, will give you that and can make plays, hit clutch shots down the stretch. If we have DeMar DeRozan instead of Austin Reeves tonight, do you think we win this game? Like, think about that. Like, if we had Vando and DeMar DeRozan, do you think we win this game? I'm going to sleep and hope that tomorrow happens fast, I feel. The Kings, hey, I mean, they've beaten us twice, so that's a fair thing to say. In the regular season. Bron and AD had more turnovers than AR. No. AR was second. LeBron had 6, and AR had 5. Them together, LeBron and AD together had more than AR, yes. Or LeBron was, but AR was second. Turn into no-shows, yep. I've seen D'Lo doesn't mind not closing, and he's been solid all year. Love his performance. He's got to stay. It would be really hard to trade D'Lo right now, just the way he's playing. And especially if you get DeMar DeRozan, then you don't, like, if he does become a no-show, in the playoffs offensively, you can still be fine because then D'Lo can just be the playmaker, and you can just focus on him being the playmaker. Like I'm totally okay with that. Totally okay with that. Andrew coming in hot to $2 super chat. Thank you so much. The floor spacing argument is such BS. What, my argument? Are you talking about me? About the floor spacing? Or are you talking about like people in general? Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about people in general, then yeah, I'm with you because it is one of those things where people think spacing the floor, its only purpose is to shoot threes. That's not what the point is. The point is you spread the floor, which draws out the deep. Oh, I need to charge my laptop. But yeah, you stretch the floor so that way you can draw the defense to be able to score in the interior or hit shots. Like, again, there's more to spreading the floor and drawing out the defense than just shooting a bunch of threes. So here, hang on, give me 1 second. I'm not going anywhere. All right, perfect. Sorry about that. I needed to plug in my computer before it died. But yeah, again, if you're talking about like people's argument of like, oh, if you get DeMar, you won't have floor spacing, which I'm assuming that's what you mean because we were talking about this yesterday. So yes, I am with you 100%. There's more to floor spacing than just being able to knock down the three. If you can use DeMar DeRozan to attract multiple defenders, then guess what? You did the same effect. The exact same effect. So, but again, I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you. What's going on, Butt Kicker? Salute, buddy. Where were we? Here we go. There we are. We got the cap comment. Oh, here we go. Sabonis always bullying Davis. 0% energy. Yeah, especially after the performance against Triple J last night. It's weird, man. It really is. It's weird. What star player can't even give you 10 points? Plenty of stars have had under like that's the reason like LeBron is such an anomaly. He literally has the record for most double-digit games, but even LeBron's had games like that. Like guys have games like that. Stars have games like that all the time. Giannis has had games where he's had like 8 points. Like it happens. It's just frustrating when AD does it. Trade AD, man. I'm done with AD. You cannot trade an AD, but it is frustrating. Give Cam more scoring opportunities. He'll average 18 to 20 easily. I wouldn't mind giving him a little more, but yeah. The people saying DeMar doesn't help with spacing RBS. Oh, okay. Thank you, Andrew. And thank you for the super chat. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I figured that's what you meant because, like I said, we were talking about it yesterday. So, yeah, it is. It's just DeMar DeRozan definitely helps with spacing, right? If he was a post player, then, yeah, maybe there's that argument, right? But, again, DeMar DeRozan shooting, 20 feet out. Yeah, it's not, 35 feet out, but it's still enough to pull out defenders. If he's getting hot, teams are going to have to double team and try to slow him down. He's a good enough playmaker to where he can pass it up. If you double team him, then now that exposes you to Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Like DeMar DeRozan would help tremendously. Bro, but AD never been a defensive player of the year. Giannis is a better defender, and also LeBron even a better defender. Okay, Giannis is not a better defender than LeBron James. I mean, every metric says otherwise. Even the eye test tells you Anthony Davis is a better defender than Giannis. But even then, like even the defensive player of the year thing, right? Like that's a popularity award in many ways, right? Triple J should not have won the defensive player of the year last year. There was, even if you remove Anthony Davis from the equation last year, which Anthony Davis was the best defender in the league last year, and he only played like 3 or 4 fewer games than Triple J. But even if you remove him, there were still 3 or 4 guys better defensively than Triple J. you talk about LeBron being the better defender, right? Then how come Marc Gasol, who is worse in every way than LeBron, how come Marc Gasol got the Defensive Player of the Year award and not LeBron? Again, just because you don't win the Defensive Player of the Year doesn't mean you're not a good defender. Right? Marcus Smart won Defensive Player of the Year, 2 years ago? And he wasn't even in the top 10. But the Boston Celtics were so good defensively that year that even the announcers, when he got the game that he got the award, even the announcers said this award wasn't just for him. This was for the entirety of the Celtics. It's just he was the head of that defense. Again, there's more to defense than just awards. But Waja, thank you so much. Coming out to $2 super chat. I really appreciate that. DeRozan, Caruso plus Drummond without nuking core 8 players. I would love that. Like I said, you're gonna have to trade one of D'Lo and Reeves. You're probably gonna have to trade Rui because you're gonna have to get something back. But I don't mind. I don't like the idea of trading Rui for the long term, but we're in win now mode. And I do think DeRozan, Caruso, and Drummond gives us so much better of an opportunity of winning an NBA championship. So if we were to do that, I would be okay with it. But for a long-term standpoint, it doesn't make sense, right? If we were looking at the long term, the long haul, I wouldn't be trading Rui. But you're probably looking at something like, and again, at this point, we'll see once we move closer. But if I had to do the trade right now, I'm trading Reeves. I am. So it looks something like Reeves. You'd have to trade Gabe Vincent at that point. But I think you could argue, hey, if we give you Reeves and we give you Reeves and Rui, you're taking Gabe Vincent. So if it was me, I would go Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura, and Austin Reeves. And you throw in a JHS, you throw in a first, and you tell them, hey, you're getting Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura on great contracts. That's a core that you could build around with Patrick Williams. You're getting a guy in JHS who's a first-round pick this year, getting another first round on top of that. You're blowing everything up. Go get DeRozan, Caruso, Drummond. That solves a lot of it. It doesn't solve everything, but it solves a fair majority of the issues the Lakers have. And you push chips to the table and you try to go win an NBA championship. If you win the NBA championship, guess what? Nobody's going to care. I've heard people say oh, that's too much, blah, blah, blah. But again, you got to keep in mind, no team wants to help the Lakers. 2, a trade can't be one-sided. Teams have to want to get their ends on their side too. They have motivations, they have motives and things like that as well. And 3, you're in win now mode. So you do what you can to go rebound. You could do what you can to go rebound. So, we got Andrew coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. You already said it, Tyler. No, we don't have the spacing now. Adding a true bucket like DeMar improves our spacing. D'Lo and Reeves don't even provide spacing. Yeah, they're not at all right now. At all right now. Exactly. And that's my point. First off, thank you so much for the super chat. Again, I really do appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, people see the problem is that when most of the time when people refer to spacing, it's spacing, which is true, right? You want to have floor spacing, you want to have shooters. So I understand when people are they think DeMar DeRozan doesn't shoot threes, so therefore he doesn't provide floor spacing, because you're trained, most people are trained to just think floor spacing means three-point shooting. Floor spacing means stretching the floor. You're creating space for the floor. But what's the idea? What are you trying to create by spreading the floor? You're trying to move people away from the basket, which frees and open up the basket. That's what floor spacing is designed to do, to space the floor enough so that way guys have attacking lanes, so guys have passing lanes, all kinds of stuff, right? To create a better flow of offense. DeMar DeRozan provides that. DeMar DeRozan will give you spacing because of his ability to go get buckets. We're not a good three-point shooting team, and we're not going to be. So, yes, would it be nice to go get a guy that can light it up 40% from three? Sure. But I'd rather go get the bucket. I'd rather go get the guy that consistently, game in and game out, can give you over-the-top shooting, which the Lakers desperately need. And guess what? If you have a guy that can give you over-the-top shooting, then you can shoot over the top, which means even if they are packing the paint, you have a guy that is capable of scoring over the top, which LeBron can do at times, but he's not great at it, right? AD can do it at times, but he's not great at it. So, yes, DeMar does improve our spacing because he's a guy that can score. He's a guy that can hit shots. He's a guy that does a lot for the team. And he'd be the third option. So, but anyway, just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. But again, appreciate the super chat. Where were we in the regular chat? Give me a second. Let me find. I hate when it refreshes because I can never see. I have to go back and find it. I'm just going to pick up here. I don't know exactly where we were. The media got in Reeves' head, putting him in the Lakers' big three picture. I really do think that that's part of it. Because, like, you watch him play. Again, he's like last year, he was just playing. He was out there just playing the game, right? He's letting things come to him. He's picking and choosing his spots. You know, he took the occasional bad shot, but everyone does, right? But he wasn't trying to do too much. He was just happy to be there, right? But this year, it's like he's trying to replicate last season, which he probably would if he just played the game. If he just let the game come to him and pick and choose his shots rather than trying to force stuff. You know, that's the problem. But yeah, I agree with that one, Tyler. Reeves, the GOAT, you always back on his tip soon. Oh, look, I love Reeves. And I said, I do believe he'll turn it around. But he's not. D'Lo is showing more value right now and showing to be the more important, significant player right now. Because even when D'Lo has bad games, he's still impacting the game in other ways. If Reeves was just being terrible on the offensive side, I would be a lot more defensive of him. I would tell you, absolutely not. We're not trading Reeves because Reeves will get his offense flowing again. And once he does, watch out. The problem is that he's literally giving you nothing, right? D'Lo, we've seen he's had bad games this year. He still will, in those bad games, give you 9 assists and have like 2 or 3 steals and hustling and rebounding and doing all the things that you need guys to do. He's finding other ways to impact the game. Austin Reeves has been atrocious defensively this year. He wasn't great last year, but he wasn't terrible. He wasn't an open door. I don't even think Austin Reeves could guard me right now. He's that bad defensively. He's been terrible, right? Like, so that's the problem. And I'm looking at these two guys and I'm going, if we had to trade one of them, D'Lo has shown that even in the bad scoring nights, he can still impact the game. So far, through 12 games now, right? Reeves has shown that he can't. He's either on or he's unplayable. That's why. He is. He's fighting for a spot. Yeah, exactly. Turn into JHS. Eptom Kings. Yeah. D'Lo is our consistent three-point shooter. AR is still finding his rhythm. Don't expect too much from Prince, Cam, and LeBron James. But where the hell is the plan darn him letting 80 shoot 6 3-pointers a game? That was just a confidence booster. Like I even said that when he said it. Like Anthony Davis isn't shooting 6 threes a game. He's just telling AD like, hey, we want you to shoot the basketball. Prince is a 40% three-point shooter. I do expect much from Prince. I do expect Prince to hit the shot. The first 2 out of the first 3 games of the season, he was lights out. He had that one. He had a great game, gave you 18. Then he had the bad game, and then he went and followed that up by a 20-point game. Like I don't need that. I just need you to consistently. Can you give me 3 threes a game? Like, we need Caruso and DeRozan. Agreed. I'm not worried about the Lakers. I'm not worried about the Lakers yet, but there are definitely concerns. There are definitely bad habits that we need to fix. Um, yeah, he has. He's really grown over the last few years. Just curious, uh, why Ham didn't do the Kings and Warriors offense? Like, there's a lot of off ball movement. There's a lot of men cutting. Is it possible for the Lakers to do it? Um, Technically, yes, but we don't really have the personnel for a lot of that stuff. And look, Sacramento's trying to run a Warriors offense, but you saw what it looks like in the playoffs. It doesn't work. Like, the Warriors offense works because they have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, right? Like, it works because you have a guy named Steph Curry. Sacramento, they struggle badly and mightily because you can't replicate that, right? Like, there are a lot of teams that have tried to replicate the Warriors system. They can't do it because they don't have the personnel. You can do it for spots, you can do it for games, you can do it in the regular season when certain points of emphasis aren't as big as they are in the playoffs, right? Like another reason why DeMar DeRozan would be so impactful for the Lakers. And I said this in yesterday's stream, right? Look at the teams that advance the farthest. Every year in the playoffs, look at the teams that advance in the farthest and win NBA championships. All of them have guys that can hit mid-range shots and hit them with consistency, right? The Celtics every year are in the conference finals or they're in the NBA finals, right? They have guys like Al Horford who can hit the mid-range efficiently. They have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown hit the mid-range efficiency. Now they have a guy in Drew Holiday that can do that. The Milwaukee Bucks, right? They've been really good. They had Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. Now they don't really have Drew Holiday, but now they got Damian Lillard who can hit the mid-range. The Phoenix Suns a couple years ago when they went to the finals, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, two of the better mid-range guys. The Warriors were so dominant on their run, right? But what was the conversation back then? Yeah, they can shoot threes, but they're really good in the mid-range. They're really good two-point percent. They don't only shoot threes because you had guys in Klay and Steph who, when they're running you off of the three-point line, you can step in and knock down the shot. Why is the mid-range so important in the playoffs? Because there are two main points of emphasis in the playoffs. We need to stop people from driving to the basket and getting in the paint, and then we need to run people off the three-point line. So what happens is teams scheme defenses to pack the paint and run off shooters, which then allows you to run. And now you got this big, like 15 out gap to where you get wide open shots. And you see the teams that are effective, right? The Nuggets, right, is another great example. KCP can hit the mid-range. Jamal Murray was lights out from the mid-range. He wasn't lights out from three. He was lights out from mid-range. In the Lakers series, he was. But if you look at the entirety of the playoffs, the mid-range shot is so important in the playoffs. Again, pay attention, right? Even this playoffs, watch. The teams that usually advance the farthest are the guys that can hit the mid-range. The Miami Heat, right? Jimmy Butler, not a great three-point shooter, but he can shoot the ball in that mid-range, especially that little elbow shot. Bam Adebayo loves that like little 15-footer, right? You see all those guys. The Lakers, when they won the championship, we weren't great from three-point range, but Anthony Davis couldn't miss from 15 in. You know, we had KCP again, who was money in the mid-range. Danny Green, money in the mid-range, right? I'm telling you, mid-range is very important. Time to get a third star because AD is inconsistent and just don't rely on AD. Get Caruso and DeRozan or Zach. I wouldn't hold my breath on Zach, but DeMar and Caruso I would love. That's more so than the Nuggets. Yep. AR was rebounding and getting assists. He almost had a triple-double the last 3 games, so he was doing more than just shooting. In the games that he was scoring, yes. In the games he was scoring, he was getting you assists and rebounds and all that stuff. He's averaged, 4 rebounds a game this year? But he's been, again, terrible, turning the ball over, doing all that other stuff. He hasn't been. Not like what D'Lo, not to the level of D'Lo, right? Like, you look at Reeves today, yes, Reeves was great in today's game as far as like rebounding. He got 11 rebounds and he got 8 assists. But for the most part, he has been a turn aisle on the defense side He's not getting after it. He's not making the hustle plays, poor shot selection, turning the ball over heavily. He hasn't been rebounding the basketball because he's only averaging like 4 rebounds a game, which is not terrible, but it's not like he's going out and giving you 6 to 8 rebounds, right? And he's not, I already mentioned the defense, but he's not doing the little things, right? Like that's what's important. Assists, he's averaging 3 assists a game. So yeah, you're going to get that when he's on the ball so much. He should get at least a handful of assists, but he's not going out and getting 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 assists on a regular basis. Caruso plus Drummond and DeMar without killing the core. Exactly. Would be beautiful. I don't think trading D'Lo or AR is a good idea. If they're not firing Ham, Rui may have to go to the trade and solid 3-point specialist since Ham is not given enough minutes. I mean, even if you fire Ham, like if you can improve, you get better. Exactly, that's what it is. I've said the same thing. I've said that literally several times. That like Rui plays the 4, and you have LeBron playing 40 minutes a game. Like the idea was LeBron plays 28 to 30 minutes a game, which would have given Rui about 20 minutes a game. Rui isn't getting the minutes because we need to rely on LeBron so much. I want DeMar on the LA Lakers and the Clippers. He ain't going to the Clippers, but Lakers, yes. Austin struggled, but I'm not giving up on him. I'm not saying you give up on him. I'm just saying if push came to shove, like right now, today, if you had to trade one of D'Lo and Reeves, you're trading Reeves right now. You just are, right? D'Lo has shown to be much more impactful beyond just shooting the basketball. So again, if you had to choose between the two, you got to take and keep D'Lo. Hey, I'm hearing that the Clippers are going to trade Kawhi. Yeah, I've heard that, and it's very possible. Somebody said earlier that Kawhi is the Lakers are the front runner to land Kawhi. Not super stoked about that, but look, I'm not going to be upset. If the Lakers trade for Kawhi, if I'll say this. If Kawhi's healthy come playoff time, the Lakers win the championship. Nobody's beating Kawhi, LeBron, and AD. If they're all healthy. Again, if they're all healthy. And especially with Kawhi, that's a huge if. But if you have Kawhi, LeBron, and AD, you're the Celtics, the Warriors, the Suns, the whomever, you're not beating the Lakers. Because you could literally run a unit if you wanted to, of LeBron, Reddish, Kawhi, Jared Vanderbilt, and Anthony Davis. Good luck scoring on that team. And you'd still have enough offense to weather the storm against these other teams because you'd have Kawhi and his shooting, you'd have Anthony Davis, and you'd have LeBron James. You wouldn't be able to double Kawhi because you have to worry about LeBron and AD. If the Lakers get Kawhi Leonard and he's healthy, the Lakers win the championship. Problem is, I just don't have faith that he would be. I guarantee Kawhi to the Sixers. I don't know if they would do another trade like that again. They're just going to get back all the stuff that they gave up. And we still have a center position problem, which we almost forget as a few games. It's not that we forget. It's just like, who do you go get? Like, who's available that makes sense, right? He has played point guard before too. Again, I've talked about this before. He can make plays. He's actually very good at making plays. Dude, he has arguably the assist of the season so far. Right? The guy is capable of making plays. And he wanted to be a Laker. He thought he was going to be a Laker with LeBron and AD on the team. So he knew I'm probably going in and going to be the third option. So AD was terrible. You never see any other player like Giannis, Jokic, or even Cat play that bad. Something has to be done. You need to watch more Karl Anthony Towns games. Dude, I have screamed at how bad Karl-Anthony Towns is at times. That dude has one of the lowest IQs I think I've ever seen in my life. Giannis has had bad games like this. Jokic has too. Again, there's a reason LeBron is such a rare species. Most guys have had games like this. It's just, it seems like Anthony Davis has more than the average person, right? Which is the frustration. But Arthur, coming in hot with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I'm believing at the tail end of the Olympics, AR-15 got exposed. He has the yips and not has been the same. He's dragging into the regular season. I mean, there's a possibility of that, but I really don't think that's what it is. I mean, you can make an argument on the defensive side, yes, because teams are literally targeting him and going after him. So, yes, I do agree in that sense, Arthur. But to me, it's just Reeves trying to do too much, right? And it's like it's almost like he's trying to show, I am that guy. I really am. Where last year he was so good because he was just that guy. He didn't have to show it. He wasn't trying to prove it. He wasn't doing too much. You know, he took the occasional bad shot, but it wasn't like consistently. It's like he's trying to play himself back in a rhythm, but instead of just letting the game come and allowing him to naturally get back in a rhythm, like you've seen with D'Lo, right? D'Lo wasn't trying to force stuff. He wasn't getting too crazy. He had games where he just didn't have it from three, so he just stopped shooting threes. You know, he dribble, step in, boom, pull up. You know, like he let the game come to him, and now you're starting to see him pick it back up. He's starting to get back in a rhythm more and more and more, right? Where AR, it's like he's trying to expedite the rhythm rather than just letting the flow, the natural ups and flow of the game happen. And I mean, maybe it's an Olympic thing. Maybe it's just tired legs, right? I mean, that's a real possibility too. Like, you may be spot on about the Olympic thing. I don't know if it's necessarily like an exposed thing, but there's definitely something. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and completely rule it out. You may be spot on. You may be right. It's also different, and I talked about this in the offseason. It's very different when you're on the scouting report, right? It's a big difference. Talked about that repeatedly. And they've also changed the rules to where a big part of Reeves and his game and the way he likes to generate his offense, they completely took away. The trying to draw the contact and, you know, flopping and all that. He can't do a lot of those things anymore. Where, like, you see him at times playing for the foul rather than playing for the bucket. But he did that last year. Thing was, last year they called it. This year they're not calling it as much. So he's not able to get in the flow. And a lot of times he would use the foul line to get back into that flow. So he'd sit, you know, if his shot wasn't falling, he would just go take it to the basket, you know, do a little contortion shot and go shoot 5-6 free throws. Now he's in rhythm, and then you just see him start knocking down. Can't really do that this year because they took a lot of that away, which is something that I've talked about in this past offseason about concerns that I have for Austin Reeves. Again, I mean, you can equate it to several things. I'm just hoping he kind of finds his groove. I really do. I hope he finds his groove, finds his rhythm again. That's my hope. But again, Arthur, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But we have, Arthur, doubling up. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But he has missed open threes consistently. Yeah, I mean, wide open threes. It's crazy how many he's missed. Which is why I think it's just, I think there's a part of it he's just in his own head, right? Again, it very well could be several things, right? It's not out of the realm of possibility that it's like that. Maybe it is part Olympic. Maybe it is part he's just in his own head. Maybe it is part, you know, him just being exposed. Maybe it is part of him being on this scouting report. I mean, it could be a combination of several things. But from what I've seen, I just think that a lot of it is he's trying to force the issue rather than just playing the issue, right? Like, he's not as confident with the shot because he's not like, and you just start seeing that snowball effect. But the games that he's been good, he usually will hit like his first three or his back-to-back threes or whatever, right? You'll see him start knocking a couple down, and then it's like boom, then that snowball happens. It's like, oh, now he's on, right? Now he's in the rhythm. Now his mid-range is falling. Now he's getting to the basket and drawing the contact, right? It's almost like his game is predicated on how his first couple shots go, right? Where some guys like D'Lo is notorious for like he'll go 0 of 5 and then finish the game like 12 of 18, and you're like, wait, he only missed one shot the rest of the way? Because it's like the missing shots doesn't affect him, but it looks like Reeves it does at times. That makes sense. Again, just from my observation, I could be completely wrong. I'm not in Reeves's head, so I don't know what it is, But I'd like to see him just kind of play a little more natural. Just let the game come. Let things just kind of chill for him. But again, appreciate the super chat. Thank you. All right, where were we in the chat? Salute, my G. You hushed me up with that argument with LeBron and Gasol. I'm speechless. I shouldn't even have argued with you again, Forever Master. I got smacked. No, it's not like I'm not trying to like I gotcha. Like it's that's not what it is for me. I appreciate the conversation. I do. I appreciate the back and forth, right? And look, I know there's a big difference between like the trolling people drive me crazy. But like when people are genuinely making a point, like I don't mind it. But I have I'm not just gonna be like, yeah, great point if I don't believe in it, But I love the conversation. To me, that's what it's about. To me, it's about the conversation. That's why I do these. That's why I do these live streams, right? I do it to have the conversations, and so that way we can talk back and forth, and maybe I can change your perspective on something. Maybe you can change mine. I've had people tell me things and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, or I was wrong about something, right? Like that's what it's about. It's about the community. It's about the conversation. It's about us going back and forth. But again, feel free to argue with me. I don't mind it. I don't. Right? Just be prepared for responses. I just am one of those people. I don't like to talk about stuff that I don't really understand. Like this is my space. Like this is something that I am very confident. So I am a student of the game, right? So, but anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you for the thank you for the compliment with the LeBron Gasol thing. That was great. Lakers suck at every metric at the moment besides shot blocking. Yeah, literally. Bro, trade me back to the Sixers. Not always a good thing. Rest means having to rev up. You're talking to Pale. Okay. Sorry, I didn't see that part. The Bulls are a terrible franchise. Yeah. Yes. 0-8. He's AD all time. Is he really 0-8? I don't think because Anthony, we've beaten the Kings before with Sabonis. I don't think he's 0-8. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure we're not. Unless they beat him and Sabonis wasn't there, which could be a possibility. But and I'm pretty sure we beat the Pacers when Sabonis was there. So I don't know about that. Again, I could be wrong. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head. But yikes, only 9 points for AD. Very disappointed. I'm right there with you, buddy. Right there with you. It is frustrating to say the least. D'Lo needs to go. D'Lo's been fantastic. Why would you trade D'Lo? D'Lo's been great. Chances are, though, they are going to trade D'Lo. I just hope DeMar doesn't create a Russ, LeBron, AD look again. That won't happen. Like I won't. Again, I'm not worried about that because DeMar is a good shooter and he can space the floor better than Russ. Like Russ, for whatever reason, his mid-range, over the years has gotten worse. His free throw shooting has even gotten worse. Like, I don't know. And Russ absolutely has to be on the ball. He can't play off the ball. So you have him and LeBron clash. It's a completely different scenario. Like DeMar can play off the ball. He's played off the ball every stint he's been at, right? He's played off the ball with Toronto, right? When Lowry was on the team, right? Played off the ball in San Antonio, right? He played on the ball a lot too, but he played off the ball a lot. San Antonio had him run point guard sets all the time, right? Now in Chicago, he's playing off the ball to Zach LaVine and all these other guys. Like it's you won't have to worry. Is there a possibility that's a little clunky early? Yeah, sure, because you gotta, everyone's got to kind of figure it out. But once they figure it out, it'll be okay. Problem is, we also didn't have the team around Russell Westbrook. We have the team around DeMar. So just something to keep in mind. But Andrew, coming in off the $5 super chat again. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I don't think DeMar wanting to be a Lakers talked about enough. Also, the fact that he's from Compton. Yeah, without a doubt. Dude, I've said this before. Last season, he literally went on a press tour. He had like 5 interviews and talked about the Lakers more than he talked about the Chicago Bulls. Like he had I think it was with Taylor Rooks. He literally had a interview where he was like, the entirety of the interview was just talking about the Lakers and how he thought he was going to Lakers and how bummed he wasn't going to Lakers. And, and how like that was his first, like, it literally was just like a come get me Lakers campaign. Like literally, I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know if it was like, maybe he thought they were going to try to trade Russell Westbrook for him or something or what, but like it is. If DeMar DeRozan has the opportunity to go to Lakers, he's going to go to Lakers, which I do, which is why I genuinely believe DeMar will be a Laker. I don't see many teams in competition for him. There will be some, don't get me wrong. Like Miami could probably use DeMar DeRozan. There are other teams that want him, but DeMar, everyone knows it's the worst kept secret in the league that DeMar DeRozan wants to be a Laker. The only way I see DeMar not being a Laker is if the Lakers do trade for a Kawhi Leonard or something like that, right? If Kawhi says he wants to be a Laker, it pains me, but I believe that they'll get Kawhi. And I'm not going to lie, they probably should, right? I trust DeMar more, but the Lakers would be better with Kawhi just because defensively and offensively. Although I want Paul George, right? If I could pick any of the guys that could potentially be a Laker, it's Paul George. But if the Clippers are smart, they'll trade Kawhi and keep George. That's just my opinion. If they're smart, that's what they'll do. But yeah, personally, if we don't end up trading for a Kawhi or something like that, DeMar DeRozan will be a Laker. You heard it here first. But yeah, time will tell. Anyway, again, Andrew, really appreciate that. But all right, let's power through a couple more questions, and then I'm gonna skate on out of here. If it's any like pressing questions, whatever, then super chats are the way to go. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go through as many questions as they can for the next like 10 minutes, and then skate on out of here. You a schmuck, Ty. Thank you. You're sweet. Bro, my 2-year-old can guard you. Probably. I bet Reeves and D'Lo are going to be traded for a third star like DeMar. One of them probably will. Yes, very likely. I'm starting to see D'Lo turn into Derek White. AR turning into 2022 Carmelo Anthony FX. No, D'Lo's been great defensively. Great. DeMar, a completely better fit for LeBron as than Westbrook. Westbrook was terrible trade on paper and in practice. Agreed. People now going to call AD glorified Evan Mobley. People are going to talk about AD because it's AD. All right. DeMar is a better fit than Westbrook. He is absolutely a better fit than Westbrook. Yeah, that's true. I'm with you, Andrew. People have the fear of, oh, we got Russell Westbrook, so it's not going to work, right? Like, and the last few stints, right? It hasn't really gone well. But like, look, people said the same stuff about getting Anthony Davis. Oh, keep LeBron and keep all the role guys. We're good. We can win a chip, blah, blah, blah. And then what happened? We traded for Anthony Davis. We won an NBA championship, right? And, LeBron wants Russell Westbrook. Why does he want Russell Westbrook? I don't know. My guess is he's probably looking at it as like, hey, I made it work with Dwayne Wade, because Dwayne Wade isn't a good shooter by any stretch and usually was on the ball or whatever. And I want to play off the ball more so I can play off the ball more. But the problem is LeBron's a terrible shooter, and so is Russ, right? I mean, LeBron's streaky. Let me rephrase. He's not terrible. He's streaky. But Russ is literally a terrible shooter. So the problem with people is they focus too much on shooting. I agree. I'll take consistent scoring. I agree again over inconsistent shooting any day. Any shooter, we will be inconsistent. Y'all get another one. Yep. I am with you, Coswin. 1,000%. Excellent put. Again, give me the guy that can go get a bucket. Give me the guy. I would rather have the guy that can give me 20 points a night and shoot 50% from the field than go get, a guy that can shoot on the occasional night. Even if, okay, let's say you could get a guy right now in every other game he went off for 30, right? And just shot the lights out every other game. I would rather have the guy that will give me 20 every single night. Every single night. Because now you know what to expect. Where the other guy, you don't know what to expect. You have the idea, okay, well, every other night, that's the trend, right? Like, look at Anthony Davis. It's hard at times because we don't know what to expect offensively from AD, right? So now it's like, okay, well, then who else is going to step up? How is it? But if LeBron James is going to give you 25 plus a night. You don't have to worry about LeBron. LeBron is going to give you 25 plus. So now it's just like, okay, so we have 25. We just need another, 90 points. Right, so where's that coming from? Well, now if you get a guy in DeMar DeRozan who can guarantee you on a nightly basis 20 to 25 points, well, now you only need 80 points, right? Or 70 points or whatever, right? And so it's like, okay, well, now where does that come? Okay, well, now we don't need AD to go give us 30. If he does, great, right? Now we only need 5 from everyone else, right? So it's hard to plan. It's hard to have consistency when you have guys that can't consistently score. DeMar DeRozan is a guy that can consistently score. Just a thought. If you can't get DeRozan, then go for LaVine to score. The problem with LaVine is we just don't have enough to get him. You talking about me? Talking about what am I like? You talking about my shirt? It's like a sweater hoodie that has a little mushroom thing on it. I just think it's a cool hoodie. And then I got my hat, and then I got basketball shorts on, and then I got my little moccasins on. See, because we at home chilling, so just vibing. Yeah, you feel me? What are those? Wearing my house slippers. Actually, I wear these everywhere. These are super comfy. These are those deer foam moccasin looking things. These things are so comfy. So I wear them everywhere on the house stuff. And I'm one of those people because I grew up poor. I always have to wear socks. I never not have socks. And even now that I don't have hardwood floor that's or concrete or anything like that, it's ice cold. I still I just always wear socks. So I always have socks on, and these are perfect because I always have these on. And then I just slide in and out of bed or whatever. Anyway, sorry, random rant, but just thought since you asked what I'm wearing. I think they should go all in too. I think we're good enough to be there. We just need to fill in a couple holes. Look at the Lakers last year. You had Rui and Reeves killing the mid-range. Just didn't get enough from everyone else. Exactly. Mid-range shooting is very important. Very important. Would you rather keep Gabe than Reeves? In that case, no. I would rather trade Gabe than Reeves. Reeves isn't that bad. And look, I like Gabe. Gives you point of attack defense. They're very different players, but Reeves is the better player and the more upside. So, can the Hawks trade Trae Young? Can they? Yes. Will they? Probably not. And even if they did, I don't think the Lakers would be able to get him. Um, I would take PG over as well. Calvin, as it stands Lakers, why don't we run a lineup similar to what we use to run in the 2020 NBA championship? I mean, we technically do, right? Like who? Like what was our lineup? Like what lineup are you like referring to exactly? Because I mean, most of the time it was like LeBron played point, but he didn't necessarily line up at the point position regularly, right? We would start with like Avery Bradley, and then Danny Green or KCP. So you had basically two. You had like a 6 foot guard and you had a 6'5" shooting guard, which the Lakers are running a 6'5" guard and another 6'5" guard, right? So, or in Prince's case, 6'7", right? So in that regard, and then in the bubble, because Avery Bradley didn't go with us to the bubble, so in the bubble we ran KCP and Danny Green at times with like Kuz, LeBron, and AD, or we would run like with JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard, and then AD, and then LeBron at the three, and then but also you can't really run LeBron at the three like this year. I mean, granted he wasn't at the three; he was the point guard. A lot of times, like Danny Green or KCP would cover that, or Kuz, like they'd start Kuz. So, like you still ran guards. So you'd have to be a little more specific on like the idea of what you mean, like a specific lineup. Um, and then Rondo coming off the bench, right? Like you're sleeping on Vincent. No, I mean, like I said, I like Vincent. I mean, look, D'Lo's better, or not D'Lo. Reeves is a better player than Vincent, but I do like what Vincent brings. You know, point of attack defense, on ball defense, and he elevates himself in the playoffs and shooting. He's the perfect point guard next to LeBron. I mean, think of all the point guards that have won and had success with LeBron James, right? You know, you got Norris Cole, you got Norris Cole, you got Mario Chalmers, you got George Hill, right? You got guys like that, Avery Bradley, who I mentioned earlier. Like those 3-and-D style guards, point guards, are perfect next to LeBron James because LeBron James is on the ball so much. I like Vincent a lot, but I'm not like if I had to pick between Vincent and Reeves, I gotta take Reeves. You know, I just do. I just think. I mean, Reeves has more upside. He's the better all-around player. Vincent's just really good at the things that he's good at, right? And look, I've talked about. I like Vincent. Like Schroeder again. Schroeder's upside is higher, but Vincent is more consistent, right? You get more consistency with him. Although he hasn't been that through the first 3 games or whatever he played. But I do expect him once he starts getting back into form, you'll see that consistency. So look, I am super stoked on Vince. I was pumped when we went and signed him. But if I had to choose between Vincent or Reeves, I don't know why I keep saying D'Lo, Vincent or Reeves, then you gotta give me Reeves. Like, sorry, but anyway, I appreciate you. You awesome. I don't see the super chat. So like when you go to comment, like where it says chat, and then you have like the little smiley bit. There's like a box with a dollar sign. Like so, if you're holding your phone to the right at the bottom, there's a box with a dollar sign. So if you look at that box with the dollar sign, if you click that, then it'll bring up all the options, and then you can donate whatever you wish, if you want. Again, don't feel like you have to, but if you want to, I would very much appreciate it. So yeah, so basically, you just hit the little box, you'll get the little prompts, and then you just whatever, whether $1, $5, $20, $100. I don't know what the scale is, but yeah, that's basically what it is. So if you want to, I would greatly appreciate it. If not, again, don't worry about it. I'd rather trade Prince. Need to trade for Caruso. I would love Caruso. And trading for Prince, like I don't mind trading Prince. The problem is he's a filler guy. Like he's a salary filler rather than like a package guy. Right? He's a guy because he only makes $5 million. So, or it's not even that. It's like less than that. But so he's like the salary you need to get there. Yeah, Darvin Ham ain't going anywhere. At least this year, he's not. Get comfortable. He just signed like a new 4-year deal. Like they ain't gonna fire him before he finishes 1 year. I love Prince too, but I don't Like if you can, again, if you can get better, you don't just trade guys just to trade guys. We need Pat Riley back. It'll be D'Lo, Rui, JHS, Christie in 2029. First top 5 protector for DeRozan, Caruso, and Drummond. Probably something along those lines. I am with you. I wouldn't mind that trade at all. I'll fix the rebounding problem. Yep. Would be nice. DeRozan and Rui are similar. Yeah. There's a chance we drafted JHS for the Bulls. Hey, that very well could be because they love that like bigger point guard, like that Lonzo player. Sorry, I'm trying to find something to me real quick. He doesn't utilize Rui well. I agree. That's been like a big complaint of mine. The Nets are another team to watch for at the trade deadline. Yeah, the Nets start selling guys off. Is the stream a replay? I don't see any of the comments that he's reading out in the chat. No, this isn't. No, this is a live stream. Again, like they moved it. So it used to be like at the bottom. Now it's like where the comments are, like where you go comment. I think you have to like slide over or whatever, and then you'll see like the live chat, Calvin. And then again, like if you want, and then once you do that, then you'll see that's probably why you don't see the super chat. It's probably why you don't see the super chat icon because you're probably in the regular comment section. You have to go over to the chat section. So it should just bring it up when you click on the live stream. But sometimes I know that like it'll show like the comments, and then if you like slide it over, like you'll see 2 like dots. If you slide it over, that'll pull up the like live stream chat. But yeah. Anyway, hope that helped. In the summertime, you kept saying Austin was a better playmaker than D'Lo, and I repeatedly said D'Lo is by far a better playmaker and just about the same level shot maker, if not better. I said that Austin Reaves is a better playmaker. I don't think I ever said he was a better playmaker. I said he's capable of making plays, and he's a good playmaker. I mean, I might have. But I've been super high on D'Lo with his playmaking. That's been like my biggest defense of D'Lo. So I don't know if I've said that he's a better playmaker. I know I've said Austin Reaves is a great playmaker, and that Austin Reaves has been more consistent than D'Lo, and he's capable of being the playmaker. But he also wasn't like a huge playmaker at times, right? Like how much did he get the opportunity to playmake last year? I don't know if I said that. That would be nice. Kawhi come to Lakers. And where did you hear that from? Like I said, I didn't hear it personally. Somebody in the chat, I don't remember who it was, but somebody in the chat said that the Lakers were favorite to land Kawhi. I don't know if that's true or not. They said that I think they said they saw a report or something. But again, I don't know that for sure. In the playoffs, the best guard defender guarded D'Lo, not AR. That's because D'Lo was proven. AR wasn't. He was supposed to come, and then he choked. D'Lo might be good now, but we all know he would be good come playoff time. I don't know about that. He was good in the playoffs. Just struggled in that the whatchamacallit game. Exactly. Yeah, but again, like I like D'Lo was fine in the first 2 rounds. It was just that Denver series. D'Lo has been very good, which is why he probably got to get traded. I think he'll end up getting traded, but I just think right now D'Lo does more for you. I don't know Lakers front runners. I didn't know Lakers was the front runners to trade for Kawhi. Again, I don't know that for sure. Again, like I said, somebody in the chat said that. I don't think that I'm telling you that that's the case. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't looked into it. But there very well could have been something that came out because the last like 4 hours I've been doing live streams. So these guys love having back-to-backs as an excuse, not come out aggressive. We will be okay. We don't want Kawhi. He's done. I'm kind of rough on that. Good show, Ty. Next game. I am with you. Yeah, I'm with you. Get me out of here, dog. Trading for DeMar, like we trading for a top 15 superstar, because that's what we would be for us, whatever it is, the cost you do it. Especially if you can Caruso and Drummond. Yeah, if you can get those three, you do it. WS drip. It's more of like I'm just chilling, lazy drip. I don't know if it's W drip. In a 7-game series, we would smack the Kings. Y'all gotta stop. We would. I agree. Salute, y'all. You gotta smack Portland next. I am with you. Let the game flow every time now. Go for mid range when three's not falling. Yeah, you just got to be smart. Better shot selection. Better decision making. Vincent sleeping on the Lakers so real. Look, I like Vincent. I expect him to get better once he gets back. Now you're ready to trade depth, huh? I mean, you'd still have depth. If you traded for even if you traded for Kawhi, you'd still have depth. You'd still have 10 to 11 guys. We've dominated with Taurean Prince on the bench all year. Dominated. People should do their homework. It's because he is not shooting well right now. He needs to figure it out. I love Prince. Don't trade him. Trade Reeves, D'Lo, and Reddish, and get DeMar. Yeah, you got to keep Reddish, man. Reddish has been fantastic. Give me PG. Y'all can keep the other handicapped dudes. I would love, like I said, I would love PG. Like if we had our choice, if we could get like any of the guys that are rumored to potentially be available, out of all of them, I want PG. He's the best. He's the best difficult shot maker. He's the best defender out of the group. Yes, he's been better than Kawhi Leonard. He's more adaptable. He's more willing to fit into whatever role is asked of him. Dude is clutch down the stretch. Like the dude is everything you want. If we could get PG, like again, to me it just come down to how. Why has Reeves been so bad lately? His tricky style of play isn't working no more. Like I said, it's very likely a couple things. One, they changed some of the rules. Two, maybe it's just some leg issues. But three, to me, it's just he's trying to force things too much. Way too much. I don't know if I'd want Kawhi anymore. It's not 2019. It would be, look, okay, now let me phrase this properly. I don't want Kawhi. If I remove my bias of I don't want Kawhi, and you have an opportunity to get Kawhi, especially for what the price for Kawhi would probably be, you go get Kawhi. Like if Rob Pelinka has the opportunity to get Kawhi Leonard, he's going to get Kawhi Leonard. Because again, if you get Kawhi Leonard and he's healthy, you're probably winning the NBA championship. The reason I don't want Kawhi is because I don't trust and believe in the injuries. But from a job GM perspective, you can't make moves based on one specific factor. You have to kind of take things in multiple ways, right? You have to kind of look at the entirety of the picture, what benefits the most, and what are the pros and the cons. You can't make decisions based on injury, right? Because then nobody would get traded, right? No one would ever get deals, right? Anthony Davis had injury issues before he came to the Lakers. Why did the Lakers trade for him? Because if you trade for him and he's healthy and he's good, you win the NBA championship. Lakers won the NBA championship, right? Like Kawhi, if he's healthy, is still a top 10 guy in the league, right? Like it's just that's been the problem, him being healthy. It's not that the Clippers would want to trade Kawhi to Lakers. It's the fact that Kawhi Leonard is a free agent and he could force his way to the Lakers. That's the thing. You got to keep that in mind. Because he could just opt out. And Kawhi will get a contract. Like Kawhi isn't a Kyrie situation where like if Kyrie might not get money if he says I'm leaving and tries to demand and stuff. Kawhi Leonard, he can do that. Because there are teams that'll still give him a bag in the hopes that, like, if he's healthy, he might not get long-term money, but he'd still get a bag. Last year, Vanna was in. Yep. PG is smooth. I like PG's game a lot. Plus, if we win a couple chips with PG, maybe that'll get him into the Hall of Fame. Just a thought. Just a thought. Yeah, I think it would be a combo if you get Caruso and Drummond throwing into the deal. Lakers would be much more willing to give up Rui and throw in our coveted 2029 pick. Yeah, because if you're just trading for DeMar straight up, you're probably not giving a ton up because you don't necessarily have to. And again, how many teams are going to trade? I mean, you're gonna have to give something up. You're not just gonna be able to get him for free. But if you get Caruso and Drummond in the deal, well, now it's okay, now Chicago can be well, we want X, Y, and Z. Where if it's just for DeMar, it's kind of hard to do that. But it's hey, we'll give you DeMar, we'll give you Caruso, and we'll give you Drummond, which fixes most of the issues you have. Then now you can kind of okay, well, we want this, 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 and this. So just a thought. But anyway, I got to the end of the chat. I'm going to skate on out of here. Thank you everyone so much that gave me super chats. Seriously, I really do appreciate that. You have no idea. It helps me very mucho. And it's very kind of all of you. Anybody that hit this like button, thank you so much. If you haven't hit the like button, hit that like button. What are you doing? Take a second, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, you've been hanging out, hit that subscribe button. What are you doing? But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Got to win the next one. Got to beat Portland, right? That's what we got to do. We got to get it done. But you guys are beautiful. You guys are awesome. And gonna go start setting up videos and stuff like that for tomorrow. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.